This is the Teverun Fighter Mini Pro. Now, I've ridden this scooter for about 100 miles, and today I'm going to tell you what I think about it. My name is Hobart from HobartReviews.com, and in today's video, we're going to do a full rundown of all the features and specs, including the Bosch motors, the hydraulic brakes, the incredible lighting, and the adjustable KK suspension. Then, I'm going to take you out for a test ride to see how this actually performs in the real world. We'll finish off with my range results and my final pros and cons. So let's go ahead and get started with today's video. Now, this scooter stands in a class of its own, built entirely with premium components from world-class brands. From the powerful 3,300 watt peak dual motors by Bosch to the long-lasting Samsung 60-volt 25 amp hour battery. And don't forget the precision KKE hydraulic suspension. Now, every critical part is sourced from an industry leader. There's no other scooter in its category that brings together this level of high-end technology, reliability, and performance. It's the ultimate expression of top-tier craftsmanship and trusted brands all in one ride. The standard price for the Fighter Mini Pro is $1,999, putting it squarely in that premium bracket. But if you get this before Black Friday, they have it on sale for just $1,499. That's an incredible deal. Now, a few purchasing notes. Teverun does offer free shipping on all of their electric scooters and a huge 24-month warranty. Now, that's about twice as much as most other electric scooter companies offer. And for me, that's a huge boost in confidence. All right, let's talk aesthetics. And the color, well, as you can see, it's carbon fiber. And I mean all of it. The deck, the fenders, the stem, the body, it's all wrapped in this striking carbon fiber look. Now, of course, it's not real carbon fiber, which is fine, but it gives the scooter an incredibly high-end, cohesive, almost stealth fighter vibe. And now for the logistics. The Fighter Mini Pro weighs in at just 74 pounds, which is manageable for a dual-motor electric scooter. Thankfully, folding it down is really simple. You're just going to unlatch the main mechanism, pull out the spring-loaded safety pin on the side, fold the stem down, and then you're going to use the little hook on the stem to hook underneath the rear kick plate. Now, this turns it into a briefcase-style carrier, which makes it much easier to transport and to store away. Now, let's get to the heart of the beast. These motors. Now, this is a game changer because the Fighter Mini Pro is equipped with dual 1,000 watt motors. The peak power is 3,300 watts, and they're manufactured in collaboration with the German engineering powerhouse Bosch. Yes, that Bosch. Teverun didn't just go buy electric scooter motors off the shelf. They worked with Bosch to develop high-quality, high-performance motors specifically for this scooter. So what does that translate into? Pure speed. This thing will catapult you from 0 to 40 miles an hour in just 3.9 seconds. That's incredible, and we're going to test that out here in just a few minutes. Now, for those of you who live in hilly areas, you should be able to tackle hills of up to 30 degrees without any issues. That Bosch power, well, it delivers on every level. Now, if the motors are the heart of the scooter, then the suspension must be the backbone, right? And it's something that deserves to be highlighted because we're talking about the KKE adjustable hydraulic suspension. Now, this has to be the best suspension that I've ever experienced on a scooter, period, full stop. Forget the springs and the polymer blocks. KKE is in a league of its own, absorbing up to 85% of all road shock. A word of caution though, the softer you make that suspension, the harder it's going to be to control at high speeds. So if you're going to be riding at 30 or 40 miles an hour, I would keep the suspension at the firmest setting possible. Don't worry, it's still going to be plenty comfortable, but you're still going to get that high speed stability. Now, keeping all that Bosch power nice and smooth, inside the deck we've got dual 25 amp sine wave controllers. Now, that's a key technical detail. With sine wave controllers, you get a smoother, quieter, more refined power delivery. Now, there's no choppy on and off acceleration happening on this scooter. Now, inside the deck for a battery, we have a 60-volt, 25 amp hour lithium-ion battery using premium Samsung cells. Now, Teverun says we should be able to get a range of up to 62 miles on a charge, but we all know that's under specific testing conditions. I'm going to be riding in dual motor sport mode today, so later in the video, I'm going to have real range results from today's ride to see how close we can get to that 62 miles. To stop that much power, you need serious stopping power. Now, the Fighter Mini Pro has front and rear hydraulic disc brakes, and they are also backed up by electronic braking in the motors. Now, the e-braking, especially in S mode, is so strong it practically throws you over the handlebars when you hit the brake. Now, you can't adjust S mode's braking for some reason in the app, so I had to go into mode 3, turn the level all the way down to 1 just to keep things riding smooth. Even level 2 is aggressive, and I'm going to show you how aggressive it is when we head out on the ride in just a few minutes. Moving down, we've got 10-inch by 3-inch tubeless tires here on the Fighter Mini Pro. Now these are definitely straight tires. They'll be fantastic on asphalt and maybe some compacted trails, but I wouldn't try to take them on loose gravel and sand. Now they've got front and rear fenders, which is great because it keeps all the elements off your feet and your pants while you're trying to ride. Now my personal favorite feature is the lighting. It's not just functional, it's pure flair. You get the standard front headlight and rear tail light, but you also get these integrated blinkers on the ends of the handlebars, which is fantastic for safety. And I've noticed more and more companies doing this lately. And then there's the customizable deck and stem lighting. Now, if you're inside the app, you can control not only the color, but you can choose from numerous patterns. There's over 1,000 different combinations that you can do with the Fighter Mini Pro. All right, let's go ahead and talk about water resistance. And this is for all my commuter friends wondering, can I ride the Fighter Mini Pro in the rain? Well, the answer is yes. This is IPX6 water resistant, which means it's protected from jets of water, heavy rain. You can even hose it down if you wanted to, but it means it is not protected against submersion. So as long as you're not riding it into a lake or throwing it in your pool, you should be just fine if you get caught in an afternoon thunderstorm on your way home. To power on the Fighter Mini Pro, you're gonna long press the power button over here, and the screen's gonna come on and it's gonna ask for your NFC card. Touch your NFC card to the screen and the scooter powers on. Now over on the left, we have our blinkers at the end of the handlebars, our leather grips with our palm rest. We have headlight button, left and right blinkers, and a horn button, and of course hydraulic brakes. Now on this side we have the same thing, including our trigger throttle, power button, plus and minus button for the different speed modes, and your mode or your M button. Now in the center you have your TFT display, which gives you your different gears that you're in. You've got your speed, you have your battery level, dual motor indicator, and your Bluetooth indicator. Now here in the middle, if you press the M button, you get the average and max speed, you get your rear and front amperage of your motors, and the temperature of your motors, which is pretty cool. And that's a look at your cockpit. Well, I think that's it. I think we've gone over pretty much every feature and spec there is here on the Teverun Fighter Mini Pro. So what do you say? Let's take this baby out for a ride. Let me grab my gear up, and let's go find out how well this thing does in the real world. Plus, stick around to the end of the video because I got the real range results from today's ride coming up and my pros and cons. So let's get started. All right, we're all geared up. We're ready to ride. And the first thing I like to do is a top speed test while we have full battery. They say we can get to 40 miles an hour. Let's find out. Let's go. Whoa. 23. 27, 30, 35, 38, 39, 41.6, 42.6. All right, so we're able to get to 42.6 miles an hour. Of course, I got the GPS app running right now, so we'll be able to see if that's verified in the GPS app when we get done with the ride. Now, they also say that this can go 0 to 40 miles an hour in 3.9 seconds. Now, I didn't count that time, but what do you say? Let's go ahead and give it a try and see if we can do 0 to 40 miles an hour in 3.9 seconds. So let me slow down. We're at 0 right now, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so that took 12 seconds to get to 40 miles an hour, not 3.9 seconds. So again, I don't know what kind of a rider that they're using. I'm on a flat ground. I'm a 200-pound rider, but definitely not 3.9 seconds. It's more like 12 seconds. So there you go, top speed test. All right, time for a high-speed brake test. I got the electronic braking off, so this will be all hydraulic brakes. We're at 30 miles an hour, and go. Whoa! Wow. All right, well, the hydraulic brakes did a great job. There was no skidding whatsoever. I don't see a trail of any kind, so that's pretty good. Now, I do want to show you what it's like with the sport mode engaged, which has the level 5 electronic braking. It is almost too much. It is too much in my opinion, and there's no way to adjust it. So I'm going to put it in sport mode, and now watch how quick we stop, but watch how much it tries to lunge me forward. I have to lean back before I hit the brakes. Check it out. All right. 25, 28, 30 miles an hour. Lean back, go. Whoa! Ugh. So as you can see, once those electronic brakes kicked in, it was like, whoa, it wanted to lurch you forward. So if you're gonna be in S mode, please just lean back before you hit those brakes so that you can try to counteract some of that inertia moving forward. But hey, the brakes work great here on the Fighter Mini Pro. If I had to make a suggestion to Teverun or whoever's running the app, please add an S mode option so that we can turn down the electronic braking in that mode. So I'm stuck with mode 3, which is fine because you can customize that to be just as fast as S mode. But yeah, just be careful. Now, I guess the only thing that I would say is mini about this scooter would be the deck. It's a pretty good size, but as you can see, I don't really have enough room to put both feet side by side. It's kind of one's cocked to this way and the other one's almost like a T or a 90-degree angle. Now, you do have the kick plate up top, and I use that quite often, especially when I'm in dual motor mode, so I can push myself against it. But after a while, it starts to hurt your thigh a little bit, so I like to put my foot down here and give it a little rest, but there's not as much room as some of the other scooters out there. But hey, it's a Fighter Mini Pro, right? Now, in my opinion, the Teverun Fighter Mini Pro is not an off-road scooter. The tires, as I was showing you earlier, really don't have any of those nubbies on them for off-road use. It's really that street tread. Now, you can ride it on probably some really compacted trails off-road, but I would just be real careful because you got a lot of power in those Bosch motors, and you're gonna be peeling out whether you like it or not. So just be easy on the trigger so that you don't, you know, crash. But I would just try to stay as much as you can on the street. Now, these crosswalks right here used to be really jarring, but with this scooter, you barely even feel it. It's incredible. Nice little run here. 40 miles an hour all day long. 41.6 still. 42.6. So battery right now looks like it's at about 81%. And even at 81%, no problem at all hitting that top speed of 40 miles an hour. All right, so I'm sure this is gonna have no problem, but let's go ahead and try to ride it in some grass. This is thick Florida St. Augustine grass, and of course it has no problems at all and just wants to keep on going. Now, I told you not to do this, but I'm gonna do it just to show you how you have to be careful. So I'm riding on this loose gravel right now, okay? And I'm in dual motor, and if I hit the gas, listen, you hear that peel out? So it's gonna peel out. So when you're turning, you need to slow down and you need to be easy on the throttle. Otherwise, your tires are gonna slide out. These are not off-road tires, but I figured I would show you just for the sake of showing you. And this is really rough. Oh, there's some sand, so that's not so bad. All right, let's see if we can make it out of here now without falling. I mean, the suspension is doing pretty good, obviously, but the tires are what you're worried about. They just don't have the grip in this kind of stuff without having those little nubbies on there. Whoa, see, I just slid a little bit right there in this turn. Whoa, see? Gotta be careful. When you put 3,300 watts in some street tires on some gravel, well, you're just asking for trouble. Oh, cool. This is that boardwalk from my other video that I just did where we can cross over into another neighborhood. So let's safely go up this here, which worked out just fine. And let me take you across this boardwalk. I love this kind of stuff. And just like that, we're in a whole different neighborhood now, which is really cool. Going on brick pavers right now, and I'm so secure I could do one hand on brick pavers because that suspension is so nice. All right, nice straightaway here. Let's see what kind of speed we can still get. I am, looks like, going against the wind, so I won't hold it against it. 33, 35, 36.5, 37, 38, looks like 38.1 against the wind. And if I let go of the throttle, see where we're at in battery. It looks like we're at 63%. 63% when we're not on the throttle. I mean, this scooter is really comfortable to ride. I just can't say enough about it. Now, I did watch some videos on the Fighter Mini Pro before I started my review, just to kind of see what others were saying about it. And I saw one video where they said that it had real bad speed wobbles above 30 miles an hour. And I gotta say, I gotta disagree with that. The steering is so loose on this scooter. As you can see, look how maneuverable the scooter is, that when you're at 30 plus miles an hour, you know, one wrong move and yeah, you could crash. But I don't feel the scooter actually trying to wobble, so to speak. I just feel like it's a really loose steering to where if you did take a hand off at 30 miles an hour, you're going down. You know what I mean? So I would have to disagree with the speed wobble. So, you know, don't be scared of that, because I would shy away from a scooter too if it had speed wobbles right out of the box. But that's not the case with this one, in my opinion. So I'm at 30 miles an hour now, and I got no wobble. 35, no wobble. 37, no wobble. All right, 39, 40 miles an hour. I got no wobble whatsoever. Look at that suspension. Now, this is the firmest setting right here. So when you're going high speed, like I said, you want it on the firmest setting, but look at the bounce that you still have on the firmest setting. So just leave it there. There's really no reason to go any softer, in my opinion. Starting to get close to the end of the day, so I'm gonna have to wrap it up soon so I can do my final pros and cons. This new time change sucks. Hey, drop a like and a hell yeah if this time change sucks. All right, well, since this suspension is the best suspension that I've ever tested, I wanted to jump off some curbs to see how much like a cloud it feels like when I jump off it. I already know what it feels like when I'm riding, but let's go ahead and jump off a curb and see how it is. Totally silent. You don't hear a thing. All right, let me do it again. Jumping off a curb. No problem. Hydraulic suspension does great. Let's try it again. And off the curb. Not a problem at all. I love it. All right, so earlier I was saying that the scooter is really maneuverable and the steering is loose. So I'm here on this little sidewalk area where we have to make a lot of sharp cuts and turns, and you can see I can easily make these turns, go around this little circle here. Now I have started to hear a little bit of a front brake squeak, which I'm not a fan of. But maneuverability on the Teverun Fighter Mini Pro, absolutely not a problem. And we can even go and ride in some more grass in here, like so. Ooh, there's starting to be some fire ant hills out here. I haven't seen those in about 6 months. Fire ants are coming out and building their nests. Now that it's cooling down a little bit. All right, well, it looks like we're losing daylight here. So what do you say? Let's get our range results, and we'll do our pros and cons and wrap things up. All right, well, that was a lot of fun today. It's always a blast riding this scooter, and that's why I put over 100 miles on it already, because whenever I have a choice to ride a scooter, it's this one. So let's go ahead and get your range results before we get to the pros and cons. And in today's ride, we went 13.66 miles today. Now, we're at about 52% battery, so about half battery. 13.66 times 2 is 27.32 miles. Let's just call it 30 miles of range, which is about half of what the OEM says we're gonna get, and that's typical. Now, the good news is you can ride in dual motor and a fastest speed mode that you have, balls to the wall for several hours, and be able to get 30 miles of range on this scooter, and that's just incredible. I would feel no anxiety at all taking this thing out on one of my long rides, which are typically 20 to 25 miles or so. So if you're looking for something that you can commute with, this definitely will do the job. Top speed GPS test verified today was 40 miles an hour, which holds up to what they say. And there you go. There's your range results. All right, let's take a look at my pros and my cons. What did they do well and what could they do better? Well, let's start off with the things that they did well because it's a lot of them. Number one has to be the KK adjustable suspension. The nicest suspension that I've ever experienced, period, on a scooter or an e-bike. It's just like riding on a cloud, and how easy the adjustment is instead of having to get a spanner wrench out like with those spring suspension. So that's definitely pro number one, the KK adjustable suspension. Pro number two will be these Bosch motors. Wow, the performance that they provide, 3,300 watts peak power. It's quiet as a mouse, but it's just get up and go. Now, I didn't get 0 to 40 in 3.9 seconds like they said. It was more like 12 seconds, but still the acceleration is incredible. So the Bosch motors, definitely pro number two. Pro number three is gotta be the lighting. So you got stem lighting, you got deck lighting, over 1,000 combinations when you're in the app of patterns and colors that you have with the Fighter Mini Pro. So that's definitely pro number three. Pro number four is going to be these hydraulic brakes and the e-brakes. Now in S mode, it is a little strong, so you can turn that down if you're in, say, mode 3 when you're inside the app, so you can kind of adjust it to how you like it. But the brakes do well. They didn't skid us to a stop. We weren't out of control, and we stopped quickly. So the brakes do a great job. I'm also a big fan of the carbon fiber look, right? So the carbon fiber look makes this thing kind of look like fighter jet type thing here. It's fast and it's carbon fiber, so it just looks cool. So I really like the look on there. Also, I like these blinkers on the ends of the handlebars. More and more companies are doing this, and I think it's a great idea because drivers can see this where they can't really see a red blinker down there by your tail light. So I really like the fact that they are putting these really bright blinkers on the ends of the handlebars. Also, the lighting is pretty good as well. The headlight has got a little bit of a focused beam to it, so it's not wide like I would like, but it does an all right job for riding at night if you do want to ride at night. So the lighting overall, it does a great job. What else do I like about this thing? The tires are great for the street. Also, the fenders do a great job of keeping all the elements off your pants and your feet when you're riding, even if you're riding in wet puddles or something like that. Oh, speaking of wet, IPX water resistant, so you can hose it off, you can ride it in the rain. So commuters, you don't have to worry about getting caught in a thunderstorm. Just don't drop it in the pool or ride it into the lake and you'll be just fine. So there's just a lot of great things to say about this scooter. And of course, the price, $1,499 before Black Friday. And after Black Friday, it was around $1,789. Beginners, intermediate, advanced, you all can use it. It's great. Now, what can I think of on here that I think they could do better? No, there's one thing. The front brake started to squeak when I'm at slow speeds. Now, I did bed them in like I'm supposed to, but, I'm still getting a little bit of a squeaking noise, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. What else do we got? I don't really think there's anything negative I can say about it. Honest to God, it's such a great scooter in almost every way, except for a little squeak on the front brake. So if you have any questions or comments about the Fighter Mini Pro, please go ahead and leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer them for you. I'm also gonna leave a link down below so that if you do wanna buy these for $1,499, I suggest you do. You'll be able to use that link and it helps out the channel, but it doesn't cost you a penny more. And well, that's all the time that I've got for you today. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell so next time I put out a video, you will be notified. And for the Teverun Fighter Mini Pro and HobartReviews.com, my name is Hobart. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you on the next ride.